Well, hello, everybody. So I am talking today to Sandra Bowen from Bowen Immigration Services. And if you know me, then you know that all things immigration, all things travel, hence travel bugs, is what I do. So Sandra is an expert in the field of immigration. She's been in the business for 25 years. She is registered and she knows her stuff. I'm going to let you talk a little bit later to Sandra, and she'll talk about who she is. But today, we're bringing you an expert in immigration, all things immigration. So look nowhere else. You and I are going to get some information.
Thank you, Susan. So first and foremost, I must say that I'm a Jamaican by birth, because a lot of people ask me, where are you from? I'm from Jamaica. Been in Canada for too long to remember. But so yes, I fell in love over 25 years ago. I fell in love with immigration. I truly enjoy this field. I wake up in the mornings and I'm happy to do what I do. I love when people have challenging cases. I love to do challenging cases, and I can talk immigration forever. So yes, as I said, I've been in the field for over 25 years, and apart from that, I should also say that I have an organization called Women Helping Women Help Themselves, where I actually I help women in various ways to improve themselves and to accomplish their dreams and their desires. Apart from that, I wear many hats. Let me just say that as well. So I'm also the executive secretary for the African Union, which we're the arm. We represent the diaspora in outside of the continent of Africa. And as a matter of fact, let me just quickly add that on the May is Africa Month, and on the 25th of May, we will be hosting a flag raising for Canada for Global Africa Day down at City Hall. So you're all welcome to join us. An additional, again, I'm an author. I've actually co-authored a book, and also I am a commissioner of oath, and it goes on and on and on. But most importantly, I love what I do in immigration. And of course, I'm a mom. I'm a mom of two beautiful children. So,
Good morning, Sandra.
good morning, Susan.
Well, it is such a pleasure to be hosting you today in beautiful downtown Niagara.
It is my pleasure to be here. Thank you so much. The drive down from Toronto was really good.
Oh, very good, very good. Well, we're here today to talk about all things immigration, Canadian immigration, and we have an expert. We have the lady, the woman on fire. Tell us a little bit about this award.
Well, one of a very close colleague of mine that is aware of what I do in the community nominated me for this award, and it has to do with my non-for-profit space, where I have a registered non-for-profit called Women Helping Women Help Themselves, where we actually try to assist women in 5 different areas. So, yes.
Oh, that is excellent. That is so good. So let's jump right in. Today we want to talk about the labor shortage. Everywhere we go, we see that there's help wanted signs, and employers are having a hard time finding people to work. So if you're having a hard time finding someone to work and you wanted to hire a foreign national, Sandra, take me a little bit into how we would get an employee into Canada.
So, as an employer, the first thing you want to be able to do is to, once you've identified, what positions you're looking for, next thing would be to hire an immigration consultant.
Good.
Why do I say that? Because the space that we navigate is very intricate, and it's very complicated.
Tell me, what would be the first thing an employer would do when they've decided they're going to be seeking employees outside of Canada?
So again, once they've identified that they're going to be hiring somebody from out of Canada, and you seek an immigration consultant to assist, then the other things that we need to do is, or what you need to know or do as an employer, is to make sure that you have hired at least one Canadian
Okay.
or one permanent resident. So on staff, you for at least, and you must be in business for at least 1 year.
Good.
And
Okay.
again, you also want to make sure that your payroll is done.
All right. Very good. So the first thing is to make sure you've hired a Canadian. Make sure that your business has been in business for 1 year and that you're filing your taxes. Very important.
Very important.
Okay, very good. So that's fairly straightforward. So Sandra, now that we have an LMIA and we found that we're qualified as a company to hire and you have a foreign national, what should the foreign national do in order to ensure that they can come to Canada and do that job?
Okay, so the first thing is, after the employer has been approved,
Yes.
they will be issued an approval by Service Canada.
Okay.
That approval has to be sent to the foreign national, because the
Okay.
foreign national is going to need that document when they're applying for their work permit.
Ah, all right. So, just 3 things. Give me 3 things that candidate would need to ensure that they have before they approach the immigration side of things.
So the 3 things that I would say right now, the first thing is that you want to make sure you have all your documents in order.
Good.
So you want to make sure that your passport has more than 2 months. Reason being, once it's issued, it would only be issued to the length of that passport.
Okay.
So make sure your documents are in order. The next thing you want to do is make sure that you have the certification for the work that you're coming to do. So if you're going to come as a chef, make sure you have your chef certificate.
Okay.
Very important. And another thing that I would also suggest is that make sure you have ties to your home country. I cannot say how important this is.
Okay.
A lot of people get or have the opportunity to apply for their work permit. However, what they do is they tend to close their bank account. They tend to sell their home. They tend to sell their cars. And that becomes a no-no with immigration, because you need to understand that this process is a temporary process.
Okay.
And I've seen where persons have actually been denied because they've done such.
Okay. All right. Well, then that's good to know. That is really good information. I can tell you that the public wouldn't know that off the bat. So again, that is why you hire an expert in the field.
Amen.
I mean, if you're a doctor, you do doctoring. If you're an immigration consultant, that's what you do. You consult. So from start to finish, you can help the employer and the employee.
Yes. At Bowen Immigration, we do that. As a matter of fact, one of the things we pride ourselves in is, if I can even say, holistic immigration, meaning that when we look at our clients, we look at every aspect of their lives, because you cannot do immigration in pieces. If you do immigration in pieces, that's when pieces get missed. And that's when people get in trouble. So even when we're looking at an LMIA through a work permit, we not only speak with the employer, but once they've selected an employee, we also speak with the employee as well to make sure that they're in line with what immigration is looking for. That will give them a better chance of them being approved for the work permit.
Very good. I like that. Now, I do have a leading question on that, where you're going to have candidates that are going to say, what can I do with my family?
So you can, again, and I will tell you that each applicant is treated differently. It depends on your circumstances. You can decide to bring them with you at that time. So for example, if you have a wife, you can apply for an open work permit. If you have children, you can apply for their study permits. However, it may not be the best decision at that time. You may wait. You may be able to come to Canada, get settled, and then allow them to come later. So it depends. The strategy would be, once a consultation has been done, then we would tell you, or we would suggest to you what would be the best way to handle your situation.
That's great. Thank you so much, Sandra, for answering that. That is so important, and we really needed to know, because a lot of people want to know, what do I do with my family? How do I come? How to navigate? And that's why we're having this conversation today, is to talk about how to navigate the Canadian immigration scope. And Sandra here is the expert. All right, so Sandra, now that we've been through the process a little bit, the LMIA, how the worker gets to Canada, how long does this take?
Well, Susan, from start to finish, the process could take about 6 months, and I'll break it up a little bit. So for the LMIA process, that in and of itself would take about 3 months from
Okay.
start to finish. Then in terms of now applying for the permits, then you're looking at about anywhere from 2 to 3 months.
Okay, that's not long at all. So if you're looking to hire someone in December, you would start in June.
That's correct.
That's beautiful. So Sandra, now that we've talked about the procedure, how long it takes, let's talk money. What's the cost to do an LMIA?
So employers normally pay a fee of $1,000 per candidate. And I'd also like to add that they can also do bulk applications, meaning that you can apply for up to 10 candidates per. And of course, then there's the hour fees as well. But the main fee, they'll be paying $1,000 to the government.
Okay, interesting. The fact that you can do 10 at a time is really good for a company that just wants to get it over with and get their staff. That's
Exactly.
amazing. I like that.
Yes.
So let's move into the question that everyone eventually comes to. How long can I stay in Canada on a work permit?
So again, what will happen is it depends on how long the employer would need them for. However, when you're applying for an LMIA, normally we put in for 2 years.
Okay, good.
2 years, and we've also done more, but 2 years is the standard that an employer will have an employee for. Now, again, that can also at some point lead to permanency.
Wow, that's amazing. I know that a lot of people would be interested in that. I don't want you to dig too deep into that, but to get to the level of permanency, what happens when you come to Canada after your 2 years are over?
So what would happen is we would start monitoring, and I use the word monitor to make sure that you're in status, or your status carries through, and to make sure nothing expires. So we would do an assessment, and based off of the assessment, then we would know when to apply for permanency.
Very good. So see, there is a solution for everything. What you have to do, though, is make sure you hire someone that knows, someone that understands, someone that knows the process. So Bowen Immigration Service is available for that. LMIA, work permit, and when you get here, to help you through. So it's everything. It's a one-stop shop. So there's no leaving you in the cold, pardon the Canadian pun, but here we are. Bowen Immigration Service will take care of it all. All right, so Sandra, we've talked about the employer getting the LMIA, the employee getting the work permit. Let's talk about what is it that's beneficial for the employer to actually hire a foreign national. Are there any benefits?
Yes, there are. There are benefits. First and foremost, as an employer, you will definitely cut your labor costs.
Okay.
Not only that, your training costs will go down, and you will build stability. And I'll just sort of speak a little bit about all of that. What happens is that a lot of Canadians are not involved in the skilled labor space. So you'll find as a Canadian, as an employer, you will hire a Canadian, and in a matter of weeks, they're not there.
Okay.
And so you've already spent a lot of money training,
Yes.
and you not only are you losing money, but you're also losing time. When you hire a foreign national, this foreign national is committed to you for at least a minimum of 2 years.
That's amazing.
And not only that, they want to be there, which is another thing. Because that also, if I can even talk about helping the morale of the company, because now you have employees that are committed, and that also brings stability. So it actually benefits you in so many ways that, you can find, you'll find, even when I think about some of the employers that I've helped, a lot of them are literally will find that they will hire somebody today and tomorrow the person is gone, right? And so what they will do, they will literally go out and find unskilled labor just to fill the space.
Just to have a body in the space.
Just to have a body in the space.
Yeah. Well, that definitely will cut into your labor cost.
Exactly.
And so labor cost, stability, and what about training your foreign national? What happens there?
That's another thing. A lot of the foreign nationals, because they're already coming with certificates, they've already been, so they're trained. So all you need to do is now spend limited time in terms of training them to the company standard, right? And a lot of them are eager to learn, because the more they learn is the more they will be pleasing to you, and is the more, because again, don't forget, in certain situations, these foreign nationals can also become perm, and you as an employer enjoying working with them can also bring that to come to pass.
What is perm?
Sorry, permanent.
Oh, very good.
Sorry,
All right.
sorry.
So basically, an employer will have someone for 2 years and really could have that employee forever if they want.
Exactly.
They can have a lifer.
Exactly.
Because that person can become a permanent resident in Canada and continue working for the company. That is great news.
Yes.
That's money saving news.
Money saving news.
You're going to help them from start to finish. That is beautiful. And that's what I know that people are looking for, especially with the labor shortage that we have going on. So this is great news. Sandra, it was so great speaking with you today. Thank you so much for coming out. We covered everything this morning. So we covered LMIA, work permit, permanent residency, the cost, the procedure. Now that someone needs to hire you, what do they do? Where do they find you?
You know what? You can give us a call at Bowen Immigration Services at 416-256-6077. And for our social media, you'll find the links below.
Perfect. So guys, you heard it here first. Go ahead, give Sandra a call. She's going to take you all the way through. Thank you so much again, Sandra.
It's been a pleasure.